What's up everybody, it's AJ with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be looking at the CURT 2-bike platform style e-bike bike rack. Let's check it out. It's going to be a platform style bike rack, so the bike's going to sit in these trays and be held up front by the wheel hook and then back here by a strap. There's not going to be any center mass, which is nice because on some of these platform style bike racks, that gets in the way when you're loading or unloading. You can't just straight pull the bike off of the bike rack. You'd have to move it in from the side, and the pedals sometimes hit, and that just adds more time to loading or unloading your bike. Now it also, what makes it good for e-bikes is it's going to have a weight capacity of 65 pounds, so in total 130 pounds. So that's quite a bit to load up your e-bike without the battery and get on the road. Taking a closer look at how it holds the bike in place, I'm going to release the front hook and just show you how easy it is just to ratchet it down. It is padded here, so you don't have to worry about damaging your tire. You'll push it down pretty good. See, the bike, the front tire is not moving at all when I shake it back and forth there. And it has this basket it's pushing it down into. Some platform style bike racks have a wheel chalk that would just be right about there. So it's not a whole lot. It keeps the tire from coming back, but I like the basket. It visually makes me think there's far more it's pushing against, which is going to keep it more secure. The back wheel strap is going to be really easy to undo or tighten down. Pretty simple. You just push on that to release it and pull down on the strap with the pad here, so it's going to protect the inner part of your wheel. We pull that tight, and the same as the front, you don't see any movement here as I shake the bike. Along with holding the bike in place, something else to worry about is security. So it does have integrated cable locks. I like the fact that it's integrated. It's something that doesn't detach from the bike, so it's always going to be here when I'm using this bike rack. I don't have to worry about getting it out of the car or finding it wherever I set it down. It's going to be right here. The only negative would be that it is kind of a thin cable lock and it's not super long. So I usually like to go through the frame and the front wheel. This one can only go through the front wheel and fork. Before we unload the bikes and take a closer look at the rack itself, let's take it out on the test course and see how it performs. We're in the parking lot, so we're going to go over the bump course first. It's going to simulate hitting speed bumps or just maybe a curb. You see the bike rack bouncing back and around, but the bikes are staying stable. That's pretty normal for going over the bumps here. These are somewhat aggressive bumps, so I'm just keeping an eye on the bikes to make sure they don't move in the cradles or the hooks. That looks good. Now we're going in the portion of the parking lot where I can go a little bit faster and make some slide turns just to keep an eye on the bikes. Same thing. There's a little movement back and forth, but not for the bikes, just the platform. So that's good. Next up, we're going to get to the portion of the parking lot where we can speed up and take some aggressive turns and see how it handles that. Looked pretty good. Again, just the bike rack swayed back and forth, the bike stayed in place. Back from the test course, the bike rack performed pretty well. There was some side-to-side movement in there, but the bike didn't go anywhere, and that's the important part. So first part in removing the bike is going to be undoing the cable lock. So just use a key. You get two of them. The core is right here, so you just turn it. Then you can pop that out and feed it back in where you got it from. It's nice that it's right there when you need it, and you don't have to throw it in the vehicle. So make sure you push it down pretty good. That way it'll just pop back out. Then put the key back in my pocket. We'll come back to the back strap. Push in, remove the strap. It's good to feed it through, that way it's out of the way when it's time to take the bike off. Go ahead and grab the frame of the bike, come over here and use the trigger on the hook. Push down on that. Push it up and let it fall down. Then just remove the bike. Now when it's not in use, one of the unique things about this bike rack is instead of resting up on top, it actually goes underneath. So with it in this position, this as far as the arm can go down, you pull that trigger, push it down underneath, and it's going to stay right there. Looking at the trays of the bike rack, they are in a fixed mounted point, so once you mount them here, when you have to put it together, they cannot move side to side. But you can move the wheel strap to accommodate different wheelbases, so that slides all the way to the end. So there is movement there. But one thing to think about is if you have some bikes that are about the same size, you might have some handlebar to seat contact to work around. Looking closer at the trays, you're going to see the grooves in there. You got this one from road bike tires that widens up for mountain bike tires and can accept tires up to 4 inches, even in the cradle on this side. Now let's get some measurements. We're gonna go from the center of the hitch pin to the furthest point out on the bike rack. So there at the center of the clip. To the very end, which is gonna be the orange cap here. And that's gonna be about 40.5 inches. So it does stick out quite a bit from your vehicle. Remember, it's back there. It'll probably cover up your backup camera if you have one. You have two bikes loaded anyway, so it'll be beeping at you when you're in reverse, but just be careful backing out of your spot or even pulling into the garage. Another measurement would be how close it is to the vehicle. So center of the hitch pin to the vehicle looks to be, if we're going with that angle there, 8 inches. So plenty of room there. You don't have to worry about any contact whatsoever with the bumper. Now let's tilt the bike rack up, see how much of that space it takes up. So using the handle, I'm going to show you how that works. You have to pull in on the trigger and then you tilt the handle up. So that's to lower it and raise it into place. It clicks in once you push it up like that. And now let's get another measurement. Center of the hitch pin, once again, to the furthest out point. It's going to be about here, it's going to be about 19 inches. So it takes up quite a bit, but still be careful, it's going to be back here. Another feature of the bike rack is you can tilt it away with the bikes loaded, which is going to be helpful to get to the back of your vehicle if you want to grab something from there without having to unload everything. The only thing is the handle is a little different. You have the trigger that you pull on, and then you're going to twist it up to lower the bike rack. So you're going to need to hold it somewhere with one hand. You can put it right here under this part. Maybe grab the tray in between the bike if there's another one there. But pull that trigger, turn it towards you, and then you can lower it down. Now you don't have to hold that handle. It won't lock into place down here. It stops on its own. So I can open the back hatch and show you. This is nice just to get back here to anything you want to grab, or even when you're done with the bike ride. I sometimes sit out here and chill out while you're resting. Bring the bike rack back up, and the handle's going to snap into place on its own. So that is a nice thing. Down here at the shank, you're going to have the hand knob, and that's how you tighten it down. You also can remove this, and it locks, so it's going to be key to like to the cable locks. So you only have one key to lock them both up. So this is going to lock the bike rack to your hitch, so I know I can mess with it when you're not around. Now, the hand knob, you want to make sure you get that really tight. You just turn it either way in the hitch, and it'll take out that shake and play. I'm going to loosen it now to show you how much movement there can be if it's not tight. You can see it moves around quite a bit, so make sure you get a nice handle on that and turn it as tight as you can. I would suggest also pushing up on it with the other hand. That way you can get a few more turns out of there, and it gets as tight as possible in that hitch. So then once you see, I'm barely turning that knob now. I go back, I can shake the whole vehicle by the shank, and there's no movement here whatsoever. There are other options out there for platform style e-bike bike racks. First one we're going to focus on here is going to be the Swagman E-Spec. So this one is going to be a more economical feature compared to the CURT. You are limited slightly by the wheel cradles. However, you are able to put this on many more vehicles. So if you want to use this on your normal vehicle, your motorhome, your fifth wheel, or your travel trailer, this is going to fit on all of those. The only thing is it's not going to tilt away. So if you're maybe focused more on that side of things, you really don't need it to tilt, so you're not really worried about it. If you're worried about it on the vehicle, you can move the center mast out of the way with the bikes unloaded and then open up your back hatch, but you still have to unload the bikes. Now, this center mast is going to be in the way when you are loading it, so that is one minus there, but it does have locks built in here to lock up the bike, so you don't have to worry about the cable locks not reaching or not going around there. It locks right here, keep people away. Now another thing to look about is how it goes into the hitch. It's going to have an anti-rattle hitch bolt in there. I think that's going to keep it a lot tighter in the hitch. You are going to have to get a tool separate to install it, but that just really takes about a lot of that shake and play out of the hitch when you're driving down the road. The more premium option will be the Hollywood Racks Destination E. So this one's benefits is going to be the mast was moved towards the back, so it's out of the way, so loading and unloading are going to be far easier without anything in the way here. Now when you go to unload it or move it, you might have to tilt the bike a little bit, and that's what this is here for, so it catches that on the tire just so the pedals don't hit. But this will be coming out and making frame contact along with straps along the bottom. So there's going to be 4 points of contact for this bike rack, which means it's going to be the most secure for your e-bike once it's loaded up. Another thing to think about is if loading and unloading is strained, then you can use a ramp that comes with it, attach that, and just roll it up into place. So that makes it easier to load and unload if you don't like lifting up that e-bike and throwing it up there. Another feature that comes back with this one is tilting away at a 90 degrees. You just turn this hand knob and then tilt away. You can even use this as a handle to push it out, what makes it a little bit easier to tilt than the CURT, because that handle I wasn't a huge fan of. This one's far easier just to turn that knob, push it back, then use this to grab it, to tilt it away, to get the back of your vehicle and put it back in place. Now another thing that's gonna be nice about it is it's got the hand crank here. It's a little easier to get a handle on this and turn it to get it tight, but one thing against it is you want to make sure it doesn't point down. Just because of ground clearance, you don't want this to hit. So when you go to tighten it, you'd want it to be somewhere like there with tighten it down. 3 big takeaways from comparing these two bike racks to the CURT is going to be, first up, weight capacity. It's going to be 70 pounds on both of these, which is higher than the CURT. Also, the integrated cores for locking on both of these bike racks. I like not worrying about that cable lock. I don't have to worry about if it reaches where I need it to lock it up, or if I think it's going to be easy to cut through or not. Another thing is how they go into the hitch and stay there. So the anti-rattle bolt, I was confident in there. Once I tightened that down, the bike rack didn't move around at all, so I like that. And it was easier to get this one tightened up for the same thing, so it didn't move around a whole bunch when we were going on the road. But ultimately, it's up to you. Overall, hopefully taking a look at the features of the CURT bike rack and some of the other platform ones, I showed you the options you have out there, maybe give you a better idea of some things you didn't think about going into it, and actually what you need for the one you want with how you want to use it. Well, I think that does it. Thanks for hanging out and hope this helped.